Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of CommLink Reacts. I'm Stubb, and as always, I'm joined by the one, the only, Silvius. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
Been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, been a minute since we've as of recording, 3.23 right on the horizon.
Currently in PTU.
Yep, been a little slow with our episodes here lately. We just want to be able to add context and feel like we put out, stuff worth talking about. So, yeah. What video we have for us today?
So we're kind of with today's react, and we've done some older videos in the past with our reactions. If you're watching this video and you've been following the channel along, you've probably seen where we've gone back and we've done some of like the older Squadron 42 videos, like the one that immediately comes to mind is like when Mark Hamill was talking about working on the project. But we're going back even further this time around. This is kind of like the original big pitch video Chris Roberts put out for Star Citizen. And you can see, right in the title of the video, it's Star Citizen. What is it? Right. So, at this point in the game, like you just mentioned, 323 is on the horizon for live. It's currently in PTU testing, and the community right now has mixed feelings about a lot of things going on, right? As in particular, some of the FPS changes and the flight model changes, right, with master modes. Some people are for, some people are against. It's a little divisive right now. And so we thought this would be, kind of a cool thing to go back and see, well, how was this sort of originally pitched, right? Direct from the mouth of Chris Roberts and his green screen, which is a lot of fun. I love this video. I've not seen it in a while, but it's good. So I'm really, really happy to go back and check this out again during a time of change for Star Citizen, for better or for worse. Whatever your personal opinions are out there, we all have different thoughts on it. But yeah, let's see what the original pitch was.
Yeah, we're gonna see if this original pitch, how it's lining up with the current changes we're seeing.
Yeah.
And our next episode topic is going to be kind of how we feel about the game, where we want it to go. Is it aligning with those things? So I think this is a good lead in to a topic like that. So
sure.
Let's see what Chris. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, quick shout out for the podcast if you've not checked it out already. Available on the YouTube channel and Spotify, CommLink Podcast.
Yeah. All right. So take it away, Chris.
They said console was the future. Now they say mobile and tablets are the future. And they were kind of right.
Yeah, they were right.
I say to you, the reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I am a PC game.
Boy, if they release console now, this video's not going to age well.
Actual game assets rendered in real time in engine.
Man, the bingo looks way different today.
Yeah, it's come a long way. And but at the time when this video came out, like this looked great, and I think it still looks, pretty good for its age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do have a little bit more fidelity these days. This always gave me BSG vibes, Total Battlestar Galactica vibes. That shot.
Definitely. Yep. I mean, the aesthetic is a little more Battlestar, even.
Yeah.
Just a little like grimier and doesn't look kind of as futuresque, I guess.
Right. Not quite as clean.
Yeah.
That's all right though. That's why we still have our Drake ships, so we can keep some of this. Here comes the man himself. Coming in for a landing. Look at that. Nailed it.
Hi, I'm Chris Roberts.
Hey,
Ever
Chris.
since I saw Star Wars as
Love
a
the green
wide-eyed
screen.
8-year-old, I dreamt of being
Yeah.
a hotshot pilot saving the galaxy, or a lovable rogue making my way across the cosmos.
You too,
It
Chris.
inspired me to make Wing Commander and has influenced everything I've done since then. 10 years ago, after 20 years of making games, I was burned out, so I took a break. But I never stopped playing games nor loving them. And now I'm ready to come back, and I'd like to show you something I've been working on. But I don't want to build any old game. I want to build a universe. I want to build a game I always wanted to build, but I didn't have the tools to do until now. One that you can fly off a carrier fighting a heroic war on the front lines, but also one that you can muster out and find your own fortune in the stars wherever your spaceship takes you. I want to be able to share this experience with my friends and fight against real opponents in space, not just AI. And I want this to be as good or better than any other game out there. And I want to actively push the boundaries of what you can do in a game. None of this would have been even possible 2 years ago. But with Moore's Law driving PC performance and cost and the gaming community embracing talented developers via crowdfunding, I believe it is possible today. I've never been accused of having a small vision. So I thought it was best if I share my ambition with you visually. I'm pretty excited by how it's joined out.
Telling the truth
So
there for sure.
join me for a sneak peek.
He hasn't aged today.
What I'm
Yeah,
building,
not really, huh?
Ambassadors and the Squadron 42 combination, you essentially have both things available to you. So Squadron 42 is the sort of single player experience where you are getting missions. You're in the military, so it's not that open world because you're going to be going AWOL if you decide you want to go off to some other planet. So the idea of it is you serve a campaign, you fly missions, it's branching just like Wing Commander was, and you have exactly that Wing Commander experience with the added bonus of some multiplayer and your friends be able to sort of co-op play with you as wingmen when you fly your missions. But when you finish your tour of duty, you muster out and you're in the wide universe, and then it's open world. You can go where you want, do what you want, choose who you want to be. And the other thing that's nice about this is you don't have to do Squadron 42. You can get into the Star Unit. You can basically decide you're never going to go fight in the military. You can decide that I'm just going to be a merchant or I'm just going to be a pirate. I think what we're talking about here has everything that made Wing Commander great and has everything that made Privateer and Freelancer great. It basically has
Shout out to
both things,
Freelancer.
and the single player sort of military campaign side sits inside this whole universe in a holistic fashion. The idea is that it should be dynamic. So I've talked about the universe being a living entity and something that's always changing, and it's going to change based on the player's actions. So things that players do will have an effect on the universe, and they'll also be able to become part of the universe. So a good example is, say, a player that's an explorer and they explore around enough time and they find a space anomaly and then they manage to navigate a jump. That jump point and the system that they've jumped into will get named after that player. So like that player becomes part of the history and lore of the universe.
Is that still happening?
We're going to be dynamically adding content.
That wasn't in the stretch goals.
Interested in having yearly updates. We'll have a team of people that are adding content on a weekly, every 2 weeks basis. So you're starting
every 2 weeks. You hear that?
You start in the game
Every
and
2
it's
weeks,
got 50
baby.
Star systems, for instance, and 2 weeks in, a jump point's discovered for another system, and someone navigates it, and bam, we've got a 51st system, and so on.
Immersion.
We all love that word.
One thing I think you'll all be very excited about is the level of fidelity in space, the graphical detail, and the immersion, because it's to a level that I've never been able to achieve before. I'm trying to build a world that is so detailed and has such
Playing with
great
that damn
texture
controller.
that you forget that it's a game, which is always my goal when I'm building games. I'll just climb into the cockpit of the fighter, and as you can see, as we're sort of climbing in, there's a huge amount
The
of
official
detail.
Star System way to
One of
play.
the biggest keys for me in the next
He sees the
game I'm
future, but
building is I really want to
we're gonna use the
have
controller.
that immersion to be
I got mine ready for it.
and we're going to do a lot of things that will really push that. Everything inside the cockpit operates and moves and works. If I look around the cockpit, you can see the displays, my hands on the throttle, my hands on the joystick. The whole idea is we're immersed fully in a cockpit that's fully rendered in 3D. So if you issue a command, you hit
Oh, it's
a
a
button,
see-through one
you'll
too.
actually
That's
see the
great.
character doing the cockpit. It's all for the immersion. Well, I think immersion is really important for me because I think that you have to really visualize and create a very believable world. I mean, so that's one of the reasons why I always sort of really push the visual fidelity, is because I think that helps with the immersiveness.
Oh, Hornet's
The more
been around for a while, huh?
connected you are to the
Yeah.
experience, the more connected you are to the experience, I think the more fun the game itself will be. So an example of that is if we're looking around at our character, we can see that the character himself is about 100,000 faces, which is about 10 times the detail of most current day AAA games. There are about 10,000 faces or so. And so that just allows you to have a little extra detail. The wires on
The hand clipping through the ass, that was great.
creases in the uniform. and have it really stand up when you come in close and not break down because it's too pixely. So I'm really excited about the physics, and they're going to be a strong part of the gameplay. So let me demonstrate some of the features of how the physics interacts with how you control. The ship itself is built and designed and simulated like a real ship. So there's 4 thrusters on the bottom, and there's 4 thrusters on the top, and then of course there's obviously the engine at the back. Most of the ships in this universe are going to fly very much like an F-35 would do. They're fly-by-wire, so they take your input as a pilot and crunch it into trajectories and vectors it needs to tell the various thrusters to achieve what you've asked it to do. So if I want to rotate, or I want to, say if I want to pitch, like I'm doing now, or I'm going to yaw, or I'm going to roll, it actually polls the thrusters themselves and says, how quickly can you rotate to the position I need you to deliver thrust, and how much thrust can you deliver? Yeah. And the thrusters talk back to the flight.
All true, right? Like we got this.
Get you there in 0.1 of a millisecond, and I give you this much thrust. The whole system is dynamically doing that every single frame and flying that way. It's really cool because what happens is a lot of unexpected or dynamic behavior happens by it. And then, for instance, if we're flying around in a dogfight, one of our thrusters gets damaged, it will affect our maneuverability. And it's not a matter of changing a script or data, it's actually all dynamically simulated in the system.
And you have to react to it in real time. 100%. That happens.
But here's a really great example of
I guess that didn't happen in like Freelancer.
Out this corridor.
Not as detailed, it's more arcadey flight model.
The flight deck, and as you can see,
kind of fun.
The carrier that's in the prototype level is about 1 kilometer in size. It's full of activity and spaceships and people. So one of the things that I'm the most excited by the technology we've been working on is the ability to scale. So we have detail for scale at a human level. So
looks like a totally different game.
Meters in size. Then the same level of detail for a fighter craft that you'll fly.
Those shaders on the asteroids.
Bigger craft, which say this fighter craft is 27 meters in size. I'm building a game in a universe that's essentially the universe in the game I would like to play. So it's for gamers like myself. So I wouldn't say that I'm a social, casual gamer that plays Farmville. I mean, I like sophisticated experiences.
Shout out to Farmville. I haven't heard that in a while.
Because PC was what I always used to do in the past. But more importantly, it's because PC is an open platform. PC is always constantly innovating. I really care about the PC. I really want to push the PC to the limit. I think it's a great game platform.
Really he's pushing it.
Quite
once again, ringing true
about the situation right now, where it sort of feels like, PC games and PC gamers don't get any respect. It's the medium that is the coolest and the most powerful, and that's really why I'm focused on PC.
I think that sentiment's changed a bit, though.
Design some spaceships and build them and submit them, and if it passes the standards, then it can get sold in the ship dealers on certain planets, and maybe the person that built that spaceship will be earning money from other players that think that spaceship's cool and want to pay them for it. So one of the things that I like about crowdfunding is cutting out the politics and the noise of the big publisher, and you're dealing directly with the people that want to experience the game that you're making.
That $10
so one of my
pledge.
main goals whenever I make a game is to really immerse you in the world and universe.
The pledge for $10 back in the day.
Even trying the website today, and this visual prototype is a demonstration of the direction that I want to take and will be taking. With today's technology, I can do that to a level that I never could have done when I was making Wing Commander all those years ago, or even Freelancer 10 years ago. And it's actually really exciting. I feel like I can do something that has the fidelity of a film, but real time, and I'm in it, and that is my dream. My name is Chris Roberts, and I would like to build a universe with you.
Let's do it, Chris.
We're building it all right.
So the thing with that video, right? I feel like pretty much everything he said, for the most part, like, it's accurate, right? He didn't get into a lot of specifics in this, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't very specific. So, I mean, all of that stuff, like the immersion, the fidelity, the scale, like it's all there still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone, especially Chris and every player that plays Star Citizen, all has an idea of what they want Star Citizen to be, So,
right.
Anytime that doesn't align with what they want their game to be, I feel like there's a little kickback there. So,
yeah,
I don't I don't see anything that he said not still in the game today. So
Yeah, for me, I think the real hook, and I've mentioned this before, like on the podcast. He's talking about big, huge scale universe where you can be what you want. You know what I mean? That feels like a continuation of that Star Wars Galaxies vibe. Obviously the gameplay's different, but just this idea that, hey, if you want to be all in on combat, go for it. If you want to be all in on trading, go for it. If you want to, mix and match and have completely different gameplay loops depending on the day or what character you're on, go for it. Like, not everybody's going to have the same play style preferences, right? And that was the case in Galaxies. I was more combat oriented, but there were a lot of people that, they played entertainers who were more of a social class, and they gave buffs to the combat players. And I'm hoping, and we've already got some of that with Star System, right? You can go mining, you can go salvaging, you can do cargo hauling. We can talk about the balancing of the payouts and all of that stuff. And some of the issues that there's been over the years, like, with cargo hauling in particular, is what's kind of on my mind right now. Like, 30K happens, and you end up losing all your cargo, and you're out the money, and that's not super fun. But it's an alpha, right? But still, just that idea of going into the universe and being whoever the heck you want to be. And I think that promise is still in the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how arcadey the flight feels, or if there's a dynamic crosshair or sniper glint or master modes or whatever, at the end of the day, you're still going to be able to be that pirate, that trader, that miner, that bounty hunter, whatever you want to be. It's just, do you enjoy the mechanics and how the game works to play that,
Yeah.
So I don't think the overall idea of the game has gone anywhere. It's just a matter of, do you like how it plays,
and some more specifics on that would come in later videos. At some point we'll probably do some reaction videos to some of those pillar talks and that sort of thing. Because as more specific things were said over the course of time, it started to get sold more as, like, not a total sim. I don't know if it was ever. I don't think it was ever sold to people as just total space sim game.
I mean,
but very sim-like.
Right there in the video, that last sentence before the trailer started, it says, "I am a sim."
Well, but yeah, okay. Well, fair enough.
So,
fair enough.
I mean, there still has to be that, sort of sim element to it.
Well, and that was the point that I was heading towards, was that, even if it's not 100% sim-like, you do have that issue of, that's how it was pitched for the longest time, and now some of these changes coming online, the less and less sim-like and more arcadian. Now, whether or not that results in a game that's more fun to play, I have to wait and see. Right? People are currently, like we mentioned at the start of this, checking out 323 on the PTU right now, which is introducing a lot of changes that a lot of the player base, not everybody, but a lot of the player base, have categorized as arcadey, especially in comparison to what the game has been currently still on the live servers in 322. So
yeah, and we'll get our hands on some of these new master modes and FPS changes here in the next week or two, I hope, and be able to report back on a podcast episode here about how we feel with them after we get some hands on, because right now, all we can do is watch other people experience it. But until it's on my widescreen monitor in front of me and it's in my hands, I'm not really going to know how I feel.
Yeah, because our experience with 323 is very limited right now. Like, it's just master modes and arena commander, right? We've played some master modes, but it's not quite a one-to-one experience at all. Like, combat scenario in a relatively small area with boundaries compared to what is master modes feeling like out in the open PU. Those can be two totally different experiences. So, and we still don't have that PU experience with it yet.
Yeah. And,
it just is what it is.
Yeah. I have some more thoughts on how it's, going towards what was originally pitched and moving away from it some. So I don't want to get into too much here. Save it for podcast episode. But so if you want to hear our thoughts a little more in depth, check out our next episode.
Yep. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, so you get the notification when the new podcast goes live, as well as additional reaction videos that we do. And we also have a series called the CommLink Alert, which is when CIG puts out major articles like a roadmap roundup or a monthly report. Those get read aloud, essentially for people that are busy and don't have the time to sit down and necessarily read everything word for word, or if you're a multitasker and you would like to, while you're at work or you're at the gym or while you're playing Star Citizen, whatever it is you're doing, if you just want to listen to it instead of having to stop everything, we have that available for you too. So, but yeah, man, I think on that note, that's going to wrap it up for this reaction video. Thanks everybody for checking us out. A quick little plug for our social medias as well. We're on X/Twitter and Instagram for both of those platforms. The account name is @CommLink Pod. And if you check out our Twitter page, we are still doing a Cutter Rambler giveaway. We're currently like at 40 some odd % of the goal. I don't know what our exact follower count is on Instagram, or not Instagram, but on Twitter right now. But the goal is once we hit 100 followers, we're at 40 something right now. We're giving away that Drake Cutter Rambler with LTI. So if that's something you're interested in and you're on Twitter, go check that out. If you're not on Twitter and you still want to get in, make an account. It's free, whatever. Anyway, thanks everybody.
Yep. Nice little blast from the past. Thanks, Stubb. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
Ciao.